Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Sharing My Life. So, why am I doing this? Why am I being so open and honest on Facebook with you all? For those of you that haven't listened to any of my videos, I've shared in my previous videos in 2010 when my marriage broke down. I felt quite unsupported because I didn't have enough of a support network around me at the time. And so I spent 3 years from 2010 to 2013 actually going out there and creating a support network for myself, proactively doing it. And by 2013, I knew so many people. And for some reason, I still felt quite alone and at times and unsupported. And about the same time, that same year in 2013, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And he was given 6 weeks to live. And I went to India to spend time with him. It was in May of 2013, and just be with him, give him his meals, just spend time with him. He had 6 weeks to live. And by the way, I'm sharing the story. It's a real tender, very raw story, and I have spoken to my family, and I just want to say that I'm doing it with all their permission. So I'm getting emotional already. Anyway, spending time with my dad. My dad was really angry in his last few weeks prior to his death. And he would be uncooperative. He even used quite a bit of abusive language at home. And it was my day to actually give him his painkillers. So I walked into his bedroom and with his glass of water and the painkillers in my hand. And as I got close enough to him, he, got up with force from his bed, took the tablets from my hand, and he just threw them out of the window. And then he turned to me and he started to abuse me with some really obnoxious language. And I'm standing there, I was like totally stunned. My dad had never spoken to me like this ever before. And I didn't know what to make of it. So I'm staring at him and he turns to me and he says, "What are you staring at me for?" And I looked at him and I said, "Dad, what are you so angry about?" And I honestly didn't expect to hear what I heard my dad say next. He said to me, "I feel so alone. I've never opened myself up to anyone. And soon I'm going to be dead." He said, "You can't make yourself vulnerable and share yourself with people. You can't make yourself vulnerable, and fight wars at the same time." My dad was in the army. And then he just burst out crying and he was sobbing. And I was holding him in my arms and I was crying with him. And I got in a moment that I had done pretty much the same thing. And that's why after 3 years of going out there and even meeting people, I didn't really feel supported because I hadn't shared myself openly with anyone. A few weeks later, my dad passed. And before he passed, he actually rang his siblings in the US and Canada, and he said goodbye to them and told them how much he loved them. And I'm pretty sure he died a little bit more peaceful than he would have had we not had that conversation where he got to actually be open and honest with me. My life changed after that day, went in a different direction, because I decided that I was going to make my dad's loneliness worthwhile. So, coming back to why am I doing this on Facebook, sharing myself openly and honestly with you. We're at a time in human history when we have got technology, amazing technology out there, social media, that allows us to connect with people we haven't spoken to in 20, 30, 40, 50 years in seconds across countries. And yet at the same time, we've also, in human history, we're at the highest levels and escalating of loneliness, depression, and suicide in the world. And there's plenty of evidence and proof and research out there to show that there's a direct correlation between the two. The increased use in social media is causing the increase in loneliness, depression, and suicide. And there's so many of you here. It's so reassuring to know that you're all here listening. And it's because also proven that 95% of us, approximately there, that's what I'm thinking, share only the shiny part of our lives, all the awesomeness we post on Facebook. And and that's nothing wrong with that. It's just our social conditioning that causes us to do that. From the time we're young, we only talk about the good stuff that happens in our lives, not often the not so good stuff. And at the same time, I'm hearing more and more every day here in Australia how people are wanting to get off social media because of they listening to all this stuff, what it's doing to us. Like somebody says they're going to get off social media for 2 months. day before yesterday, I heard someone saying they've wiped out all their apps from their phone on social media apps. And today I saw somebody post on Facebook that they're going to get off Facebook, saying goodbye. They're going to get off Facebook for a whole year. And I'm thinking, you know, social media is such an amazing tool because it's been because of the amount of people you can reach in such a short time. We've been able to cause global change in so many different amazing social justice projects out there in the world. So why can't we use social media to actually reduce loneliness, depression, and suicide? And I'm saying, instead of only sharing the shiny stuff, why can't we also share our struggles and our challenges on Facebook? And you're probably thinking right now, she's crazy. Why, we struggle to even share ourselves authentically face to face in the physical. How are we going to do this on Facebook? And I'm thinking, and I want to say to you that if even 2% of people in the world can do it on Facebook, then everyone can, because it's possible. There's more and more people doing it. And here I want to do this because I want to contribute to that. I want to encourage more of us to be authentic on Facebook and share ourselves, share our struggles, our challenges, and our triumphs, but to do it responsibly, not to just dump stuff on Facebook, because people get inspired when you share responsibly. Yeah, I'm breathing fast. This is a big episode for me because it's my big why. I'm doing this for my dad, and that's why I'm sharing on Facebook, because I want to reduce the stats. And imagine if we did share, if we shared more authentically and openly on Facebook, we would connect with each other authentically more. We would have more support. We would invite support more from people. And we would most definitely reduce those stats on loneliness, depression, and suicide in our world. So thank you for listening. Next week, I'm going to actually share with you all the things that I've done that has given me the courage to sit here and share with you all so openly and honestly. It didn't just come out of thin air. I've done quite a bit of work, and I want to share that with people because I want more people to be authentic on Facebook. And let's use this amazing technology that we have to turn the stats around of loneliness, depression, and suicide. And I'm doing this for my dad. So thank you for listening. And let me see who all are here. There's Anne. Hello, Anne. Marianne. Alex. Nadia. My tears are view of who. Mayar. Fiona. David. And I can't see the names, are just running off. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Where is the stop button? Bye.